Any thoughts that a presidential plan for compromise on judicial overhaul was in the offing came to an abrupt end following the sharp rejection from the Prime Minister and coalition leaders. That lack of success by the president likely swelled the crowds. It's another day of disruption, with protests being held at some 150 locations around the country. Hundreds of thousands of Israelis are taking part in what is being called a day of escalating resistance to dictatorship. Organizers said the protests were the only chance to stop regime coup after Netanyahu's rejection of President Herzog's compromise plan. The overhaul plans have drawn intense public criticism after dire warnings from economists, including the Bank of Israel governor, legal experts, academics, and security officials. This is the 11th straight week of protests and the most recent day of disruption and resistance. Protesters blocked main thoroughfares and rallied outside the homes of top government officials. Demonstrators also converged on Hayarkon Street in Tel Aviv, across from the embassies of the U.S., the UK, France, and Germany. And this week, the protesters also took to the sea as Israeli Navy reservists blocked the entrance into Haifa port for commercial ships. And in the early hours of Thursday, Israeli artists painted a red line on the road leading to the High Court of Justice in Jerusalem. Several of the artists were arrested by police. The protesters heard the dire warnings from the president of likely civil strife if the proposed changes are passed into law in the coming few weeks before the Passover Knesset break. As of today, the protesters are not backing off, and neither is the coalition.